There are a few things you need to do to prepare for your trip to Qatar before you take off. So let's start with visas. And now I know this isn't the fun part, but it is super important. So before traveling, we recommend that you check whether or not you need a visa. And you can find details on the Visit Qatar site. Depending on your passport and country of origin, you may be able to get a free visa on arrival, so be sure to check prior to your trip. A visa on arrival for Qatar lasts for about 3 months in most cases. One thing to be extra sure about before you leave on your trip is your passport expiration. All visitors must have at least 6 months validity on their passport from the date that they enter Qatar. Once you've figured out your visa and gone through passport control, you're officially in Qatar. The next step is to consider 3 key things: communication, cash, and charging. The first thing to note regarding communication is Wi-Fi is available everywhere. That means you have great Wi-Fi coverage in hotels, bars, cafes, parks around the city. If you don't think that'll be enough coverage, you can buy a SIM card and have access to 5G high-speed internet when you're here. The next thing to think about is cash. In Qatar, our currency is the Qatari rial. We are moving towards becoming a cashless society. So in many places like hotels and restaurants, you won't need cash, but it's still a good idea to have a small amount of cash with you so you can pay for taxis, local vendors, or when you're on the go and you need to give someone a bit of cash. And when you're in the souk, you can keep some cash in your pocket while you're haggling. So in Qatar, the power plugs and sockets are type D and G, but it's also good if you're coming from different parts of the world to bring a universal charger or adapter for the mains. When you visit Qatar, one of the hardest decisions you're going to make is where you're going to stay, because there's so many options. You'll notice some of the biggest brand names in hospitality in the world are available here. Qatar has a massive range of hotel options from budget to luxury. You'll find the largest range right here in the capital. So we've guided you through kind of the map of Qatar, so you know where the north is and what the offerings on the west are, and what's happening down south near the inland sea. So for example, if you want to be away from the city and you want to stay near the inland sea, there are resorts that are there always. But if you want to be close to the city and still be able to enjoy the offerings at the inland sea, there are regular shuttle buses provided by your hotel. If you want to be near the city and closer to the hustle and bustle, but also want to be on the beach, that's where you're going towards West Bay, further up towards the Pearl area. And of course, a different and unique offering is towards Al Khor, and that's where you're more in touch with nature and closer to what an old Qatar looks like in areas like the Corniche of Al Khor and the mangroves, where you can go kayaking. And obviously, all the hotels within the center will have shuttles arranged for you. So no matter where you are in Doha and what hotel you choose, there's always going to be an experience waiting for you provided by your hotel. If you're the type of traveler who enjoys connecting with the local landscape, look into booking day or overnight camps in the desert. Staying true to our roots, the culture of camping continues to live on. With natural landscapes so accessible in Qatar, people here often have camping gear ready to go in the back of their car for quick getaways and overnight stays right next to the sea. And the season for camping takes place from September, sometimes till mid-May. And that is when we will set up our camp stations and campsites in the middle of the desert. So when you visit Qatar, expect to be in a place that is filled with options for accommodation, hospitality, and you'll always find a friendly face to welcome you to Qatar.